What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of The Mind of Maze. I am your host, Melan Maze Miranda, and welcome to episode 7. All right, so check it. So some of you may or may not know that I am an avid WWE fan. I have been since I was yay high. My father used to take me to the garden, you know what I'm saying, and just watch different events. And so the other day they just had the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and I was sitting there watching it. I forgot who I was discussing this with, but I said to myself, you know, with all the controversy and the attention that the Diddy trial is getting, it's almost like the Vince McMahon trial has been like forgotten. And, you know, so as I was having this conversation with this individual, it just came to my attention that, so when Vince McMahon got locked up, again, very similar to the Diddy trial, Vince McMahon messing with a young lady that he got a job there, was promising her to get higher rank within the WWE if she, did the things that he wanted her to do. Very, again, much like the Diddy case, very just nasty, vile shit, man. Taking advantage of this young lady. And like I said, I'm not saying Vince McMahon is innocent. I am not saying he's guilty. I'm just stating the facts that have come out into the media. You know what I mean? So, you can go back and see the lady's name is Janelle Grant, I believe. He's sending her these nasty, nasty texts about guys just having sex with her. After Vince has sex with her, then he brings in different execs from the company, and he kind of passes her around. Just nasty stuff, man. Shitting on the girl, pissing on the girl, telling her, oh, you could have coming out of all your different holes. And I mean, just, man, I don't know what is up with these billionaires, man. It's like these rich dudes, like they, it's almost like conventional sex no longer, it bores them, you know what I mean? So everybody, wants to spice up their sex life. Everybody wants to, at some point in your life, you know what I'm saying? You wanna try new things, you wanna experience new things, and that's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you take it to certain levels, it's like, bro, like, what the fuck? Like, nah, there's certain things that I am down for, and then there's a lot of things where I'm like, yo, you out your fucking mind. Don't ever ask me no shit like that. You know what I mean? So, so anyways, it's almost like that lawsuit, like nobody's talking about no more because, Diddy's, super famous. Vince McMahon is famous, but like in his own world, he's famous. Diddy's like just famous, period. You know what I mean? So, I was talking to this person about it. I'm like, yeah, what's going on with that case? You hear anything? Or like, it's almost like it's the forgotten case, you know what I'm saying? But check this out. As I'm talking to him about it, it's like, so when Vince McMahon got, not arrested, he hasn't been arrested at all, by the way. But when, the indictment came down and everything, it was against him, the WWE, the company that he built and ran, you know what I'm saying? He's no longer a part of the WWE. And John Laurinaitis is a guy that used to be a wrestler back in the day. And I believe he was head of talent relations or something within the WWE. So he was like, there's Vince McMahon, and then there's him, and then there's, everybody else. So he was like Vince McMahon's right-hand man, I guess you could say at the time. And he was also coming into the mix, and he was sleeping with the girl. Now, for those of you that are familiar with pro wrestling, John Laurinaitis was married to the Bella twins' mother, which is a whole another thing there. You know what I mean? But I bring that up because so the guy was married when he was doing all this shit, and they were having threesomes, foursomes, all sorts of shit. It was almost like the freak offs of pro wrestling, pretty much. If you look at this Vince McMahon case and you look at the Diddy case, there's a lot of similarities, man, with the two cases. Only for Vince McMahon's, primarily it was just this one female. The lawsuits came in just from this one female, and again, she's claiming that she was being taken advantage of by Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and it's crazy because one of my favorite pro wrestlers is Brock Lesnar, super freak athlete, multiple time WWE World Champion, UFC Heavyweight World Champion. He was in the NFL. I think he played for the Minnesota Vikings for a little bit. Brock Lesnar, man, that guy he's done it all, man. But anyways, I'm seeing he's been off of WWE programming. We haven't seen him in a while, and I'm like, doing my research on it. And I'm like, what's up with Brock? How does Brock tie into the Vince McMahon bullshit? And it's really some petty shit. It's really basically Brock Lesnar did nothing with this female. Other than Vince McMahon was trying to renegotiate, allegedly, by the way, Vince McMahon was trying to renegotiate Brock Lesnar's contract. And in doing so, to entice him to, re-sign with the company and whatnot, I guess he was showing Brock possibly nude photos of this girl, maybe little videos he was taking while he was sleeping with her and whatnot. And then I believe allegedly even promised him that, I'll throw her in the deal too. Like, you could have her on the side or whatever if you want, And again, this is all allegedly, you know what I'm saying? I don't know this to be no fact or anything like that. This is just what's being, presented in the media. So again, Brock, I guess, gets tied into it that way. What can he say about that? Like, I don't know this broad. I this guy said this is what was presented, and that's that, you know what I mean? But anyways, I guess Janelle Grant had put that in her her lawsuit, that that was some things that Vince was doing, and Vince had showed Brock Lesnar, I guess, photos of her, videos or something like that. But anyways, yeah, so that was interesting. And then on top of it all, I find out that John Laurinaitis, Vince McMahon's right-hand man, just flipped on him. And that's not good. That is definitely not good for Vince McMahon. So John Laurinaitis flipped on him. And I guess is basically, saying he'll tell everything that he knows about Vince McMahon and the whole situation. Yo, let me say this, man. Why is it that niggas do crimes and then want to tell on people? I don't get that, man. It's like, look, if any crime that I've ever committed or any stupid act that I've ever done, if I get caught red-handed with my hand in the cookie jar, I'm gonna own up to what I did, whether it was foul or not. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, nah, man, this guy made me do it, or this guy told me to. Man, come on, man. You a grown man. You knew what you was doing when you was fucking doing that shit. You knew that shit. You knew what you was doing was wrong when you was doing that shit. When you a married man and you sleeping with that young lady, you knew you was wrong. You knew you was doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? So when you apologizing for it, you're not apologizing for what you did. You're apologizing for getting caught. But now what you end up doing is you're gonna throw this nigga under the bus to save your own ass. That's why, you know what? Here's a lesson learned. Let me tell you something. If you're gonna do any dirt, do dirt all by yourself. Do that shit on your own, man. Because when you do dirt with other people, yo, a lot of people just, when they backs up against the wall, man, they're not built for that shit. They gonna tell on you and everything. So it's best to, don't do dirt. Period. I'm not putting that out there. I'm saying don't do any illegal bullshit. Period. But for those of you that are, do that shit by yourself, man. Don't have nobody roll with you, man, because that's never gonna work, man. But anyways, yeah. So that's what I'm hearing about the Vince McMahon trial. That's what's happening currently within the Vince McMahon trial. But it's going to be very interesting to see what John Laurinaitis has to say about Vince McMahon, because they were like this, very close, man, in business and clearly in other activities as well. So it's once those text messages come out, it's not going to be good, man. It's not going to be good. Just like what's going on in the Diddy trial. I already did an episode on Diddy, but like, bro, I could do like 5, 6 other episodes on Diddy. The only reason why I'm not is because there are so many other outlets that are following the Diddy trial right now that I mean, it's all over the place. You know what I mean? I'd rather just talk about something else right now. But I will eventually double back in one of these episodes and get back to talking about Diddy, because there's a lot of interesting things that are coming out, with that whole trial. But yeah, man. So the Vince McMahon thing. I mean, the nasty text messages, those filthy, dirty text messages, promising her rank, higher rank within the company if she keeps doing these sexual favors for allegedly for Mr. McMahon. Yeah, man, it's a damn shame to see these guys, man. Vince McMahon is a billionaire. I know he bought the WWF off of his father many years ago. I want to say maybe in the 70s, 80s, something like that. Who knows? Very long time ago though. But Vince McMahon made that company globally what it is today. The product that you see today, the WWE, the WrestleManias are huge. I mean, like Super Bowls. Vince McMahon did that for the company. You know what I mean? And again, it's a shame to see these billionaires, how they just, I mean, you this guy, you had it all, brother, and you just shitting on it. Now, right before all this comes out, I don't know if Vince McMahon knew of the indictment. My timeline could be a little off, but Vince McMahon had essentially sold WWE to Endeavor, TKO Group, which is owned by Ari Emanuel, the same guy who purchased the UFC. So now the UFC and the WWE are both under the same umbrella, which is, for me, because I'm a super WWE and UFC fan. So for me, that is awesome. I was like, man, that's cool. Because now you could see cross branding and all that stuff. For a lot of just strictly diehard UFC fans, they probably are not feeling that. You know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, one is real, one is fake. You hear all the shit. So, but I thought that was cool. However, when I heard about it, I just didn't, again, for diehard pro wrestling fans, you would have never in a million years, if somebody would have came to you 20 years ago and said, yo, Vince McMahon selling to WWE, you would have never thought that. I thought personally that Vince McMahon would have died owning the WWE, because that is his baby. I mean, he eats, sleeps, breathes, shits WWE. His whole world is WWE. I mean, so I found that to be very odd when that happened in the media. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Why is he doing that? You know what I'm saying? There's got to be some type of reason. And then he has to step down as being CEO, step down as being president, the head of talent relations, everything. Essentially, Vince McMahon has been eviscerated. He's no longer part of WWE. But, I mean, his footprints are still within it. I mean, now it's ran by Triple H, who is his son-in-law, Stephanie McMahon's husband. So the McMahon presence is still felt, but yeah, it's the first time in the history of the company that nobody with the last name McMahon is running that company. So that's crazy. But I want to say something like, if you used to watch WWE in the what they called the Attitude Era, there was a lot of sick and twisted, crazy storylines that were happening. And the guy who makes these storylines and essentially pulls the plug on them, you could stop it, or you could green light it. It's all coming from Vince McMahon. So when you see storylines where he's making out with other women right in front of his wife, and his wife is supposedly paralyzed, and she's in a wheelchair, and I mean, just sick, twisted fucking storylines where I'm like, yo, I would never sign to do some of these storylines, and then these women, which are female wrestlers. Back then they were what just called divas, or considered divas. Now the women have a real spotlight on them. They are looked at as not just the sexy girls walking the wrestlers to the ring. They are looked at as female pro wrestlers today, and they be killing it. So salute to the females of pro wrestling. Sometimes, the women have better matches than the men, and you're like, yo, them girls killed it tonight. Um, but anyways, back then they were more like valets, and just to be sexy, pretty faces, and do these crazy little matches that they would put, strip tease matches, baby oil matches. There's live sex, little interlude things. I mean, just crazy stuff. Like, who would allow this stuff? Like, I know this is all about getting your ratings and whatnot. I completely understand that, but just there's certain things, man. You like, yo, nah, I can't do that, bro. Like, that's just not cool, man. And he for years, Vince McMahon was making out with these girls all the time. And a lot of these girls don't want to do that. They're like, yo, this is crazy. But these girls, they want to keep their job, and that's the issue here. When you have men of that type of power, they abuse it. They know that everybody here wants to keep their spot. They want to keep that job. And it's sad, man, because then that's what happens. It's like, oh, well, you get to the arena, a producer comes up to you, hands you a script, says, this is what we're doing tonight, go over it. The show starts at 8, your segment starts at 9. So make sure you have it down. And then you're reading it and you're seeing stuff where you're in a twisted love triangle with Vince McMahon, and that's essentially your boss, right? And you don't want to do this. You probably got a husband at home, or a man at home, whatever. You're in a real life relationship. And although this is just storytelling, this is just acting, but some things, man, is like, yo, come on, man, I can't do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do that. And a lot of them wanted to tell him that, probably just never did, because they wanted to keep their job. And then there's some women who might have spoke out and said, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. Okay, well, cool. If you ain't comfortable with it, shorty, she's comfortable with it. So I'm going to have her come in and do it. So now you're off TV. You're done. You know what I'm saying? For whenever he wants to revisit doing anything with you. Because, number one golden rule is you don't tell your boss. You never tell your boss no. See, and that's why, for me personally, I don't call nobody my boss. Nobody's my boss. Nobody tells me what to do. So I don't care wherever I've worked at in the past, currently, wherever. I don't never refer to nobody as my boss. I will never do that. You know what I mean? There's people who are the manager of a place, of employment. And hey, that's the manager here. But I would never call nobody my boss, so that's crazy to me. But again, I would never make nobody or let nobody make me feel that way either. Like, oh, like I can't speak my mind, or I can't say no about a certain situation, because if I do, then I'm gonna be out of a job. That's crazy, bro. Like I don't work like that. I've never have. I never will. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking the people that feel like they have to live their life like that, but I'm not walking on no eggshells for nobody. I'm not doing that, bro. You know what I mean? I'd rather tell you, hey, I'm not doing this because I do not feel comfortable doing that. And if because of that you feel like you gotta let me go, well then, hey, it is what it is, and we'll figure something else out. But I'm not gonna do something that I'm comfortable with doing. So yeah, man, that's my take on that. What do y'all think about this whole Vince McMahon thing? I know some of y'all are familiar with it. For those of you that aren't, I mean, check it out. It's all over different outlets. But I feel like it's been kind of quiet because I guess it's due primarily to the Diddy trial overtaking everything else. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see how the Vince McMahon trial plays out as well. Again, if you do your research on both of these trials, do your research on the Diddy trial, do your research on the Vince McMahon trial here, which Vince McMahon his trial hasn't started yet, but the similarities, man, are very similar. It's these big billionaires that, ego tripping, man, and they just let the money and the power get the best of them, and then they go on doing what they do, man. Crazy work, man. But I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you're watching me right now, hit that like button. You see the like button right there? Hit that like button. Again, it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to show love, people. It costs you nothing. Also, happy Father's Day, by the way, to all you fathers out there, man. Father's Day is this Sunday. This episode will be out Monday. So I want to give a salute, man, to all the fathers out there, man. Everybody out there who is, whether you are in your kid's life or not in your kid's life, if everything that you do is to provide for those children, to make a foundation for those children, then salute to you, man. And I hope everything with your kids is beautiful. Shout out to my children. I love y'all to death. Daddy is working, as you can see. I'm always working. I'm always building, and I'm doing this for y'all. Whether you guys right now in y'all lives know or not, I'm doing all of this stuff for y'all. So to my kids, I love y'all. To my father, I love you to death, Pop. I miss you every day. And I hope that every day I'm making you proud. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Give me y'all take on what y'all think about this Vince McMahon and this Diddy situation going on. Also, new drip alert, y'all. New drip alert, man. Right there, yo. We got the new Mela Miranda snapbacks, man. Black on white. I've never had a black on white one out. So I'm gonna drop these, man, on Father's Day, man. So go over to MelaMiranda.com. Go over to MelaMiranda.com on Facebook. Go over to Miranda Entertainment on Facebook. Yeah, man. Visit me on TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, man. I'm all over, man. Just doing my thing, man. So definitely check out the new drip, man. We always trying to bring some new stuff to y'all, man. And I love y'all for, like I said, for supporting me and watching me. This is episode 7. Yeah, man, we just doing a damn thing. All right. So don't forget, again, like, comment, subscribe, and share. All right. I leave y'all with this. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Ask yourself, what are you doing with yours? Uno, we out.